Hello and welcome back to another episode of Claire Hair. We are doing Pretty Privilege Series, Volume 2, Episode 3, and we're talking about boy pretty and girl pretty. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to another episode. Thanks for coming back. This is Volume 2, and we're talking about boy pretty versus girl pretty. So the example that went viral on TikTok that brought this whole conversation was they were comparing Blair from Gossip Girl and Leighton Meester, and then they were comparing her to Selena, and that is played by Blake Lively. So basically, Blair would be considered girl pretty, and then Blake would be considered guy pretty. Oh, I gotta make sure I got that. Girl pretty is Haire, and then boy pretty is Selena, basically Blake. And I also found another couple of examples too. Is that Charlotte? I have on here that Charlotte Carrie would be considered boy pretty, and then I have Miranda would be considered girl pretty, and then I have from Girlfriends, Joan would be considered girl pretty, and then Tony would be considered boy pretty. And the way I see it from seeing at just from picking up patterns. Okay, so no one will get their personal thing. I feel like girl pretty is when you're beautiful to women, as in like you have certain features that wouldn't naturally attract a man. And then with boy pretty, you have certain features that would attract a man instantly. Okay, so boy pretty, so basically you can be boy pretty and girl pretty, but you can't be girl pretty. You can start as the basis as I get it. I get the basis of boy pretty. If someone's boy pretty, they can also be girl pretty, but usually if you're girl pretty, that's all you are. And like I said, with this dichotomy of beauty, I don't want you guys to take anything personal, because as you saw in my last video, and there was a couple of comments that I had to hide because I didn't want to mess the vibes up. But in my last video, I rated myself a 8/9 when it comes to like what level of beauty I'm at, and I had a couple of disagreements in the comments about my level of beauty, and I appreciated it because I know at the end of the day everybody has a different level that they consider someone attractive. Like there's certain people that like you consider them like a 10 out of 10, and other people don't see them that way. So I did like the fact that there was disagreement, so we can keep this conversation going. But I do say that we should respect each other, because like I said, at the end of the day, this is still like a growing channel. I don't want to start off with negativity. Okay. When it comes to the boy pretty, girl pretty, like I would consider myself boy pretty. Boy pretty is basically if we're walking down the street and a guy turns his head, that's considered boy pretty. If we're walking down the street and a girl turns her a girl kind of acknowledges that's considered girl pretty. Because the example was like basically Blair was walking with Selena, and they were walking, like a bunch of guys came by and they were like they're making faces at her or whatever, and and basically Blair was like, oh my god, I forgot your boy pretty. And I get where she's coming from. Like I get exactly where she's coming from. But yeah, that's pretty much the examples I have. And then like I think I put Charlotte as girl pretty, but I feel like Charlotte can go both ways. But for example, Miranda's definitely just girl pretty. She's not boy pretty. I feel like Miranda is beautiful, but I know like men, like they want like an obvious attractive feature. For Girlfriends, I have Joan as girl pretty, and the reason why I said that is because Joan, like Tracee Ellis Ross is just stunning. Like she's my motivation to keep going to the gym and eating right and doing all these things, because she still looks so good, but she doesn't attract initial attention from men as Tony does. So Tony would be considered boy and girl pretty. Like I think Tony is beautiful, but I know a bunch of guys. That sounds weird. I know there's plenty of guys that would like jump over themselves to go at her. There's still plenty of men that would go after Tracee Ellis Ross, but like it's basically the timing. Like if someone instantly feels like you're attractive, you're boy pretty, because men don't take long to like recognize scanning beautiful or not, compared to girl pretty. Girl pretty is like, you know what, she's quite stunning, like it's just like a delayed reaction. So I'm going to go into detail about each one. So the importance of girl pretty versus boy pretty. So we're going to go into the importance of girl pretty. I feel like when you're selling content, it's very important to be girl pretty. Okay, so girl pretty is basically like you have the basics for attractiveness, but it's nothing that would like instantly grab attention. And that's why I made this pretty privilege series, because it's uncomfortable to talk about, but when it comes to looks, not everybody's made equal. And it's not to sit there and say you ain't Asian. Like I said, I live in South Florida. I've been called everything but a child of God because of my skin tone being the way it is. And I'm not, it's nothing new for somebody to be, it's nothing new for me to have somebody doubt my attractiveness. And the reason why I say girl pretty, because girl pretty could be regional. Like, for example, like I could be girl pretty in Miami because Miami has more of a preference for lighter skin. But I could be boy pretty in Puerto Rico, which was true, But it's just really based on like, what do people see as attractive? What do people naturally go towards? Girl pretty is also very good when you're trying to sell a product, because I feel like when you're girl pretty, I feel like people are more likely to buy content from you compared to if you're boy pretty, just like, oh, all the boys are on her, or blah blah, I'm not going to support her. Or they feel like they don't feel like they don't see themselves in you, because most of the time when someone buys content or if someone buys paraphernalia from you, it's because they see themselves in you in some aspect. I'm pretty sure like some aspect of how I talk or what I put out there has related to, the people who are subscribed, like the people who watch my content. Like I know some part of it is resonating with them to make them keep coming back. They're just not coming back just because, oh, okay, this is something to watch. Like people, there's so many videos on the internet, like they're stopping by because, A, B, and C. So with girl pretty is very, very good. Girl pretty is what you definitely want to get. Who else? Margot Robbie is also one of those people who I would consider both. Like, look how clothes wise too, I feel like clothes also contribute to if you're girl pretty or boy pretty, because I feel like with girl pretty, you're wearing outfits that girls would like, like more soft, more covered up, a little bit more about fashion. Like it's kind of like when men be saying how, oh, girls only dress up for other girls. It's true, because men do not care. Like if I sat there and said I'm wearing Givenchy with Fenty Beauty, a man would believe it. Like they would believe it. They wouldn't ask any questions because they're not going to go into that amount of detail. So like with clothes wise, like let's go back to Blair and Selena. Like with Blair's style, like Blair's more like she's serving for the girls. She's wearing the newest outfits. She's got a lot of headbands, whatever. But Selena's outfits are more, so shorter skirts. Well, it's not really short. She's tall. Us tall women, no matter what we wear, it's gonna look crazy. But she's wearing shorter skirts. She's making sure a little bit of cleavage here. More male-centered clothes, and I'll get into that in a little bit about what boy pretty is. But with girl pretty is amazing. Also with being girl pretty, you're more likely to have more empathy. People are more likely to empathize with you because to them you're not really a threat to, if they are male centered, like you're not a threat to that, because they're like, okay, well, this person's girl pretty, I don't have to worry about if I bring this person around my man, they're not going to try to entice him or try to subconsciously try to get at him. They're more likely to help you. So if you sit there and you come on camera, you're like, hey guys, like I really need your support. If you can help me, they're more likely, like if you're girl pretty, people will run to help you because they're just like, okay, this person is just like me. And like with looks as well, like there's a reason why good looking people stick out, because good looking people, I would say, makeup, maybe, like I said, it's subjective for what y'all consider beautiful. Good looking people make up about, I want to say maybe 10% of the population. Like just in general, 10% of the population is attractive. That's why they stick out so much. Because like if everybody was fine, like it's kind of like when you go to Miami and you feel regular, okay. But if everybody was attractive, like then they wouldn't stick out as much. So I feel like in that aspect, like with you being like the majority of people are not attractive, so they're going to be more likely to buy content or paraphernalia from people who they can resonate with and people who they won't be intimidated with. So That's my summary about girl pretty. But if you have any other examples, definitely put them below. So we're going to talk about boy pretty. Boy pretty is when you instantly attract attention. So Selena from Gossip Girl, like with her, she got cleavage out, she has all this stuff out. Also, boy pretty, men are more likely to, how to describe this? Men are more likely to be disrespectful to you when you're boy pretty. They're more likely because to them and their mindset, you're here for them. You're here for their purpose. I also feel like it's harder to maintain friends when you're boy pretty because it's cute at first. Like it's cute at first when you go out with people. It's cute at first when it's just like, dang, like whenever I go out, so and so gets attention. That's cute the first time. Okay, that's cute the first time. Once it starts coming where it's back to back, where it's just like, dang, like you can't bring your friend nowhere. Like it don't matter what they wear. This person always garners attention. Like I can tell you from personal experience, it's hard to maintain friends when you're attractive, or I would say more boy pretty. It is very hard to maintain friends because I sympathize. I empathize with it because just imagine you're always going out somewhere and like you're dressed your best and your friend comes with you and like this person just automatically goes to them. Like that can get annoying. Like I can see where that would get annoying at because it's like, dang, like no matter what I do, I go out with this person. Also, it's very hard to get people to help you. Just from even with my content, I can say as well, it is harder because I also know that I'm boy pretty. I would put myself as boy pretty and girl pretty because who watches my content? The majority of my content watchers are male, and for obvious reasons because I'm funny. But I would say it's harder to get help from women when it comes to being boy pretty because there is that level of like, oh, well, this person doesn't need no help or this person's doing well for themselves or blah, blah. But I don't know. I just feel like with being boy pretty, like it's kind of useless. I'm not trying to be mean, but like it's kind of useless because yeah, like you can't get anybody to help you. No one believes you need any help. And then like when men are attracted to a woman, they're very disrespectful about it. Because I remember from Blank in the City, with Charlotte, like Miranda versus like a Charlotte, Miranda versus a Carrie, like they're more likely to go with Carrie because Carrie, she dresses to the like she sometimes she dresses girly, but she mostly dresses to the male appeal. Like she dresses according to the male gaze. Like she has cleavage, the skirts are short, so I feel like Carrie from Blank in the City would definitely be an example of guy pretty. I feel like Charlotte's the only one I feel like can break both. I feel like Charlotte's girl and guy pretty. Like she dresses for the girls, but she has a very she's so feminine. I don't want to describe it. So also like style, again, like I said, like it depends on how you style yourself. So if you're a person who likes to you dress modest, like it's less likely for you to be boy pretty because they're not being able to see anything. But girl pretty, you win in all the points because I noticed too, like on just like my own little experiment of myself of how I dress. Like I think I wore like a knee length like A-line skirt. Like all the girlies were giving me compliments. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. But when I think I wore like a short dress, all the guys were like, like I noticed definitely for sure, like how you style also mentions like, are you more towards the male gaze, the woman's gaze, like the female gaze, like that's pretty much like both half and half of like which one is which. And then I also have on here Joan versus Tony. Joan was always like that. It's like that flowy, like, like her outfits were very cute. Like I love Joan's outfits, but Tony from Girlfriends dressed more for the male gaze. Like it felt like, I know it's scary, but like it felt like she was mostly going towards what can get a man's attention, what can instantly bring him over here, so even with makeup's another thing versus like what you like more. I feel like neutral looks is mostly for women, like for the girl gaze, basically girl pretty. But I also feel like darker makeup, like more red lips, the smokier eye, like that, I feel like that's more male gaze centered. So from head to toe, also how you carry yourself also can admit to it. But can like make or break, like, do you have a softer voice? Like, for example, Marilyn Monroe would be boy pretty, duh, but she'd be boy pretty. But the importance is the fact that, like, the main point of this series is to let you guys know that we are talking about these topics. It's so hard to talk about, but it's like to me, I feel like pretty privilege has always been like an unspoken, like, don't say that, don't say that, you can't say anything. It's an unspoken rule, but everybody follows it. Like, the moment you come out, the moment you come on point, people change their reaction to you. Like, I remember, just a little side tangent story. I literally went to Chipotle with no makeup on, came in there, ordered a meal, blah blah blah, right? So I went to go do my makeup and I realized I left my card. Okay, I come back, makeup done, blah, blah, blah. I got A-list treatment. Same human, like same human, A-list treatment when I came in, makeup and hair done, because I had to go somewhere. That tells me that, like, image really is everything. So don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire here. The different examples. Don't take it personal. Okay, so I have Blair versus Selena, and then I have from Gah.